The funny thing is I never wanted to do anything with the military. I was never really interested in going to military school. But since I was a little kid, I always wanted to play college basketball. And that was something that my dad did. And he kind of got me started playing when I was really young. And I just kept playing, and from an early age, I knew that's a goal I wanted to accomplish. And then about junior year of high school, I started getting recruited a little bit by the service academies and took some visits up to them, and then started to rethink and started to think, oh man, I would be willing to serve in order to play, especially if it was at the Division I level. So none of that fell through. And then my senior year, VMI called. They came and saw me practice one day or a few days. And then the next day, I got a call from them. They said, hey, we only had one scholarship spot. And this guy named Lewis Tang, we had already offered him, and he took it. So I'm like, all right, well, that's that with VMI. See you guys. Then the very next day, the head coach at the time, Coach Earl, and another coach show up on the sideline at practice, and I was like thinking, they must be looking at one of my teammates. After that, they talked with my coach and with me, and they said, well, hey, we know you were already considering going to a service academy earlier in the process. We think you have a good shot at getting ROTC to pay for school, and then combine that with an honor scholarship. We know you take school pretty seriously. You'd be on pretty much a full ride. And so then I was like, that's nice, but I just didn't think about it too seriously. And then in the spring of my senior year, I got both scholarships, and then that was just the ideal fit. Because at that point, I kind of knew I was interested in serving. I definitely believe in divine providence, and I believe that VMI was the right place. It was the right place for me to go to, and it was where he was sending me. From that moment, I said, yeah, here I am now. Showed up in June, so. Yeah, I had no really military background at all. It just sounded nice, right? Because every single college in America is like, at this point, starting to become like Disneyland. It's just all about let's make it really nice. Let's get as many students to come here as we can, and then amp up our research or whatever. And VMI is just kind of countercultural to all of that. And they say VMI kind of stands out as a school that embraces, letting you experience some challenges and some adversity as well. And I think I really value that. And I think that's something that people don't really understand at the time, and I don't always understand at the time. I think I want to be a surgeon. I think I want to be a surgeon for sure at this point. I think a lot of the experiences I've kind of seen shadowing them in my off time. I'll have some free time a couple weeks at the end of the summer when workouts are done, we're done with basketball. I'll take a week off and just go shadow somebody back home and just kind of try to get some experience. The impact that they tend to have on people while really focusing on something that's really, really cool. The whole thing of having multiple responsibilities while being an athlete, while playing basketball here, is that during the summer, we're getting ready for the season. We're kind of bringing everybody together and starting to learn the new offense, starting to put stuff in. You're working on your craft, you're trying to get stronger and all that, but at the same time, kind of squeezing some time in there for getting your schoolwork done, to try to get some credits ahead. And then in early July, I had to leave to go to advanced camp for the Army. So that's just a thing that cadets do, that you go out, and it's about a month for allowing you to be eligible to commission and kind of evaluating you as a person and as a leader a little bit. Coach Wilson was really understanding about that. He just said, hey, go do what you got to do, and you come back, we'll have you right back in here. And he definitely understands it's bigger than basketball. But then there's the other thing that Coach Davis will always tell us. He'll say, hey, basketball is not the most important thing in life, but it is when we're together, So, and I think that stands true. That's what doing all those things teaches you, is that whatever you're doing at the time, you need to be fully present, to be fully into it. When you're in practice, you can't be worrying about things you got to do. You got to be in the moment and be ready to be locked in on your responsibilities as a player, be locked into what do you have to do to win. And that just translates to everything. I mean, if you let it teach you, if you let the game teach you, it kind of takes you places.